Yeah, so I'm sitting here at Jen's studio because she woke up with a migraine, which happens. It's raining out right now, and the weather has changed from 40 degrees to 70 degrees, and then rain, and that always happens. And I woke up with a headache too this morning, but not anywhere near hers. So Saturday mornings are the big day at the studio, but there are only two of them here, so I ended up being the admin person today. And that's why listeners' sound is a little bit off today, because I brought all of my gear. I was telling John before I hit record, I brought all of my portable gear, but I forgot one little piece. And that little piece is the USB adapter that makes everything work. Isn't it amazing now with the technology? Why are you taking a picture of the screen?
Because
you
I
want
need
the
you to
dress in the
move a little
background?
bit to your left.
The left?
Good. Because when we talk about all your gear, I think it's important to note what you're discussing. Because hanging behind Nick's head, he's going to post it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, as if.
Hanging behind his head is what do you call it? A ballerina gown?
That's not what I call it.
What is it called?
I call it a costume.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is it a costume?
Because this would be a costume because it's used for just like a jazz dance, right?
Okay.
That over there is more like a tutu.
Well, hold on.
Which is also a costume. It's a different name.
Let me get a shot of the 222.
The 222?
Yes. That would be a 6, wouldn't it? A 222. That's beautiful. So
you can also see
let's
behind the drink in that picture, you can see the bag of gear I brought that is absolutely useless today.
The bag of gear that's sitting in the corner looking very forlorn.
Yes. Yeah.
Why aren't you using me?
Exactly. Well, I have all of this gear and it's wonderful, but I can't get over the fact that one piece, one tiny little piece that's no bigger than an inch, makes it all useless.
That every PC on the land can do without that little adapter.
Yep.
But every Apple device needs it because Apple.
Well, okay, I say you say that, but it's interesting. So for work,
because I think that's fair.
Do what?
Give both sides of the argument because I think that's fair.
Well, I haven't received my new work laptop yet, but I did get the dock for it. Oh, and John's eating right now. So anyway, I got the dock for it, and the dock uses the same USB adapter that the Mac uses, and that's a PC. So everything plugs into this dock, and the dock using the same adapter plugs into the PC. So I'm assuming that the new computer I'm getting is the same. So in defense of Apple, preface this by I hate the fact that I have to have an adapter. I really do.
Concur.
It was one of those things that it really made me pause when I bought this computer, but I am such a big Mac fan because it works. It always works. I've never had a problem with any of my Macs, and they last a really long time. It was something I could look past because I always have that adapter with me. In this case, it just gone. I was in such a rush because Jen came down and said, "I'm not feeling well. I'm not going. Can you cover for me?" And I'm like, "Okay, throw everything in a bag and get here early so we can do the podcast before little kids start showing up." Right. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what Mac tends to do, and they do it with a lot of different things, is instead of waiting for change to happen in the industry, if they see something that's better or that can be more effective, they make that change early. And yeah, it's uncomfortable for the user in the beginning.
Wait. Who again are the customers?
Well, we're the customers.
Oh, and it's uncomfortable for the user.
That's what I'm saying. It makes it uncomfortable for the user, for the customers, but it's the right thing to do because they're not waiting for technology to kind of change around them. They're changing the technology for the better to make everyone's lives a lot easier in the future.
Here's the problem I have with it, and it feels to me more like a political battle than a technological battle. And it's not just Apple. I totally get that. There's certainly some reluctance to all come together. It seems like on both sides, whether it's whether it's Android or Apple or PC or Apple or whatever it is.
Or let's even go further back, VHS versus Betamax.
Well, it's true, and there's some of that, but to me, the end user is what matters. Google has one goal in a search operation. So if somebody searches, they have one goal, and that is to find what the searcher wants. Let me rephrase that. They have two goals: to find what the searcher wants and to make money.
Right.
Those are the two goals of Google.
Okay.
I think that simplicity is sometimes lost in the higher levels of our devices, just because we don't have the opportunity to say, well, look, I've got all this money invested in all of these things, and they don't interchange.
Yeah.
And that's really problematic to me. It seems like I don't like charging devices, and you just can't. I heard at one time that everybody was going with a mini USB plug.
Yeah.
And that's not true. That's not the case.
And so that's the USB-C is what you're referring to.
Yes,
and that's what Mac uses on their computers.
Yeah.
I would agree with you to a point, but I am noticing more and more devices going to USB-C. So, like, for example, I have an app. It's not an Apple Pencil. It's a knockoff brand pencil for my iPad, and that's a USB-C charger. The only thing I have right now that isn't a USB-C charger is my iPhone, which I have been told, just like you, it's going to move in that direction. But your Android phone, isn't that a USB-C charger?
It is.
So again, you kind of made the point you made was right on, but as I was referring to, is Apple pushes those boundaries, going, this is the right way to go. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to do it now. Consequences be damned when it comes to customers, but this is where we're going, so we might as well just do it.
Yeah.
And maybe the right thing to do from a customer service standpoint or a customer experience standpoint is to slowly integrate, which I'll use that Dell that's coming for me for work.
Sure.
As the example, it probably has a regular USB and a USB-C.
Sure.
Because you can start adding devices that are USB-C.
Correct.
And then they'll transition all the way, but Apple doesn't do that. They're
no, and I guess to me it's all about, or should be all about, the end user, not the next gen of technology.
Right.
Or if you have the next gen, then offer both. I mean, seriously, USB-C is not a huge real estate taker of any device.
Yeah. And that you're absolutely right. But you can also argue too, with your Google example, it might be good for the end user, depending on who that end user is. The end user being the regular public, you're absolutely right. Keep it simple. They never know what's going on. But for you and I, who are on the back end of that, and we are developing different SEO strategies for our clients, Google is constantly changing and constantly throwing things out the window and turning things upside down. Mm-hmm. And for us, it's a struggle to keep up and figure out what's next, because they're not very good about telling us this is how you adapt to it. You have to figure it out, which I think they do on purpose. But, so it's not completely, what's the word I'm looking for? 100% simple, like we're making it sound, if that makes any sense.
Yes, and that's a good point. Nothing is all or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, really, I just have the tendency to think in terms as an end user I should be their primary consideration, because let's face it, both of them, whether it's Android or Apple, when you're talking about phone devices or whatever, are incredibly expensive.
Right.
Way more than most of us know, because we usually don't pay it if you have service.
Well, and here's the other side of that. And so I have all these devices. These devices that I got for recording came after the Mac. They're brand new. So why, they are notorious, builders of things are notorious for adding miscellaneous crap inside of their packaging. why can't they put a regular USB and a USB-C?
Totally agree.
That would solve it too. So that's probably Apple's goal, is to get manufacturers thinking like that, going, offer the option. So, don't just necessarily look at Apple and blame them. You could look at the manufacturers of other things that we use and use that as the example.
Totally true. Totally true. And you look at the functionality of USB, for example, thumb drives, and we know this from a corporate standpoint that they're just not safe.
Right.
And so everybody is going more cloud-based. So that takes one other utilitarian use of a USB connection, right?
Right.
So anyway, I understand things are changing, but to me, it seems like, well, the end user be damned is probably not a really good strategy for a company.
Probably not.
So
yeah,
once you buy all the stuff, it doesn't really matter.
Right. And it's a fine line. It really is just a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you still sound good, and listeners can tell us.
Well, part of that is the fact that it's a Mac.
Here we go. Yeah.
Well, they are well known for their good microphones, their good speakers. Yep. Not as well known or very well known. Actually, it's very poor. Their camera in the laptops is not very good.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's not. Realize that. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you can see me really well, right? I can. And it's a good picture, but they're not. There are more powerful cameras on different machines out there.
You're normally a little blurry. I get used to seeing you.
Well, that's just my face.
Well, it's like Sybil Shepherd used to be in all her movies. They would put Vaseline on the or a stocking over the lens of the camera.
Zoom has that filter like that.
Do they?
Yeah, so you can turn it on.
Do you think I need it like Sybil Shepherd did?
Absolutely. You definitely need it. If there was someone on earth that needed it more, it would be you.
I can't think of a single person that needs this more than you do. I would get that stat.
Yes.
Well, and I say all those things, and right behind me you can see my Mac Pro.
Yeah. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my Mac.
I like mine. I don't love it. I like it because there are a lot of what I do is authoring stuff. And so it's a pain in the butt to use any word processing type of stuff on it. And so that to me is a little bit of a hassle, but you're right about the camera. You're right about the ease of use, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I navigate through that for work quite well. And I'm not a Mac guy. So if I can figure it out. So
going to your publishing programs and things like that.
Sure.
I think that's just being used to something. So for me, it's much easier to do publishing and work on a Mac than it is on a PC. And I've grown up on both. I use it even now daily, interchangeably.
Of course, we're using the term "grown up" very lightly and loosely with you.
Yeah, I'm not talking about age. I'm still a little.
Well, we know, and that's to say nothing about the costumes behind you.
That's right. That is right. So speaking of, this past week, Jen and I took Peyton, finally, it took us a while to get in, to a child psychiatrist for, I know we had talked about the ADHD diagnosis. And
yep.
We have, as we were talking about, we've decided to go ahead and try medication after trying everything else. We've tried diet, we've tried supplements, we've tried behavior modification, all of these different things, and nothing seems to be working for her. And I think I told you the doctor that we went to said Peyton is one of the most intelligent kids I've met in a long time. Not genius level, but very, very, very intelligent. But also one of the worst cases of ADHD I've ever come in contact with.
Oh my goodness!
Did I not tell you that?
Not the. I mean, I knew about the ADHD, and I knew about that you guys were trying to work through it and try different things and so on. But I did not hear about the diagnosis.
So we.
But I get that. Just speaking to her, it's obvious that she is at a very high level There's no question about it. You can tell for only, 10 years old?
She's 10. She just turned 10 in September.
Yeah.
And so when he tested her, it was a 2-day long test, and she had to sit in there for 2.5 hours each day, just doing nothing but testing. I felt bad for her.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, she reads at an 8th grade level and math at a 7th grade level, which is remarkable, but even though she hates it all. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I'm pretty impressed by just the levels there. But the ADHD is just one of those things we just need to, get under control. So he said, I don't normally recommend medication if I can avoid it, but I recommend medication. So we had to go through the process and
Ritalin or something like that.
Something like that. So, and that's what the doctor, the psychiatrist was supposed to assess. So we went to a meeting. She asked a bunch of questions, and I was so proud of Peyton. She was so open,
good for
willing
her
to talk to the doctor. And even though she doesn't want medication either, it scares her.
Of course.
And that's my fault because I talk about, we're very open and we like to talk about it and tell her what we're trying to do and stuff like that. And so I told her one of my biggest fears was seeing some of my step nieces and nephews who were on medication back in the late 80s, early 90s, and how they were always like zombies. Oh, and gosh. I didn't want that. Yeah. And that's why I avoided medication for Peyton, or always kind of dismissed it as something that probably we could get, if we worked on it and talked about it, we could get past without having to use. So she's very afraid of that. But talking to the psychiatrist, she walked through the different types of medications, what they do, how they work. And she also said, back then they really only had 2 choices, Adderall or Ritalin. And, you could easily become zombie-ish if you over-medicated and stuff like that. But now they have so many other choices that do so many different things. And they can even get it down to a time frame. How long do you want to be able to focus? So you can have an 8-hour, you can have a 10-hour, you can have a 12-hour, or you can have one that keeps you up, but all the time. And you're at a baseline the whole time, but that's a medication that you can't come off of. You have to keep going and keep going. Yeah. And that's actually not a stimulant base. That's a different thing. So huge education from this woman, and it was fantastic. So we're finally going to start Peyton on something to see how it works. Probably starting on Monday to see that sort of thing. So
wow.
Yeah.
Did it allay her concerns, her fears a little bit?
I don't think it will until she actually starts the medication, but we'll definitely see. Hold on just a second, John.
Sure.
Podius interruptus.
All right, I'm back.
Okie dokie.
So, did I show you this mask before? It's one string like this. I love it because I can go like that.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
One string just at the top.
Yep. Okay. And it just goes around my head so it doesn't make my ears poke out.
They actually still do.
Well, that's just natural.
I'm serious. You're like Radar O'Reilly sort of.
Yeah. Do you see this right here?
The edge of your ear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Minnesota. See how it bumps like that?
Uh-huh.
That's a Minnesota hockey battle wound. That's frostbite right there.
Wow. No kidding.
Yep.
Let's see the other side. Oh, that's perfect. Perfectly round. That's frostbite. Nice. You should wear a hat.
This was okay. So this was, it was maybe 12. It's probably 12. So we practiced outside once in a while. And when you practice outside, you can't put a hat under your helmet, right? So what we would do is we would take practice jerseys and wrap it around our head and put our helmet on top. And that would keep our heads warm when we were outside.
The skull caps or something? Why wouldn't that work?
If they did, they didn't know they existed back then. Okay. We're talking it's a long time ago.
Okay.
Technology has come a long way in the last few years.
Apparently, yeah. Skull caps are a new thing. Yeah.
Right. Maybe they did have it, but it's a small town, Minnesota.
Sure.
So I did that. It was perfectly normal for us to do that. I guess my ear was sticking out of one part, and that was where my ear hole was on my helmet. So I didn't even notice until after practice that it was even sticking out.
And you couldn't hear anything. Oh, just pulled your ear off.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not Mr. Potato Head. I know I look like him, but
there's an argument to be made for that. You have the nose up here.
Yeah.
I can smell my ear now.
I hear what you're smelling. I smell what you're hearing.
Well done.
Something like that.
So is that mask? So what Nick showed me, listeners, is a mask with just a string on the top part of the mask. So you can actually lift it up and you sort of put it over your eyes, which I thought, why would you wear it like that? Anyway, but it makes it easier to remove it or move it away.
Yeah, I was doing that so you could see that it lifted up like that. But really, I think it's designed for Governor Newsom, so people can keep their mask on and eat.
Wow. Yeah, that seems to be highly protective with no string on the bottom of it.
But you don't need that mask when you go to the French Laundry.
No, you don't. You don't need any mask when you go to the French Laundry, for Pete's sake. Just shovel it in my mouth.
Make sure you don't sit outside either. Make sure you sit inside when you're eating without your mask.
Can't do it. And can't do it in New York, by the way. I just learned that today.
What?
All indoor eating has been banned. All restaurant indoor eating has been banned.
Kentucky, too.
And less than 2% of the cases have been traced back to a restaurant.
Yep. Yeah.
Which, wow.
Isn't that fun?
The same way you said, yeah.
Yes.
I'm just hopeful that the vaccine will allay some of that.
I'm hoping. And so last night I was sitting on the couch and Jen had come home from work and my phone, it sends alerts whenever there's a news story. Mm-hmm. So I'm plugged into Fox, I'm plugged into CNN, I'm plugged into LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post. So they all alert, right? If there's a breaking story. So my phone started going, and Twitter, my phone started going nuts last night. And I'm poking up. I'm like, oh, cool. The FDA has approved the vaccine.
The Pfizer.
Cool. Set my phone. Vaccine. Yeah. Right. Set it down. Ding. LA Times. FDA has approved. It was 7 times, I swear. I picked up my phone and it was the same story, just a different. And I've never honestly seen that on my phone because usually it's, I'll get one from Fox here, I'll get one from CNN here, but never the same story 7 times.
Wow.
So I looked at Jen, I said, I guess it's a big deal.
Or I guess it would be a good idea to stop all these stupid notifications.
Right. I do. So I don't know what you do, but I put my phone, I have time set up. So between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m., no notifications come through.
Good. Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love being awakened but I get them from work, of course. Somebody sending an auto email at 6 a.m. my time. And I'm
yeah. No, see, I don't even do that.
Nah.
I have that shut off too.
Do you?
There are certain people. So you can get through. Chris can get through. Chris is my boss, and from work, that's pretty much it. Because I figure if it's important and there's a reason he's calling me at 6:30 in the morning, I better pick up if Chris calls.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no reason for me to pick up the phone because and that's the thing. A lot of people say when it comes for sleep and stuff like that, you shouldn't have your phone in your room and stuff like that. Yep. I use my phone as an alarm clock and a sleep tracker. So, I'm using it as a tool, which is why I have everything shut off. So it does not ping, it doesn't buzz, it doesn't light up, it doesn't do anything. It just tracks my sleep and then the alarm goes off when it's time to get up. So I think that's a good compromise there.
I don't disagree. I don't care. I use my phone because I don't sleep great anyway. I can't remember the last time I got 8 hours straight of sleep. It's just, it doesn't happen. And it's okay. If I wake up in the middle of the night, either I lie there thinking about, I should be doing this. I should be doing this. So I'll either come to my office and do it. And so I go back to sleep, or I'll just watch TV until whatever, I'm this major problem that,
and
arises.
I know you made fun of me before, but you take CBD, right?
Occasionally. I don't often. Lisa has the oil. I tell you what, I used a little, my back was giving me a little trouble, lower back, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And I put some of and it's not cheap. This is the expensive stuff. And I put it on my back and instantly it was better.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's muscular, so it's not like it's I went back in and it cracked, and no, that's not what it does.
Right.
But it instantly, I went to bed and I right away felt better.
So I have the same thing. My brain races at night, and that makes it really difficult to sleep. So my sleep routine is 50 milligram gummy of CBD and a 12 milligram what's that called, melatonin.
Oh yeah.
So that's what and if I wake up in the middle of the night and my brain starts racing, I go and have another 25 milligram CBD, and I'm out like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, two things. First of all, remember what happened the first time I recommended CBD to you?
Yep.
And you were like, no way, I'm not doing that stuff. And
now I'm its biggest proponent.
I'm delighted that you are.
Yeah.
Because
but, that goes. So I was listening to Joe Rogan while I was driving last week, and I'm a fan of Joe Rogan for a few reasons, but one of the main reasons is he claims, and I think so, I've heard him, he claims to have an open mind. If you bring a good argument and you have data to back that up, he's willing to change his mind. And the last one I listened to was with the CEO of Whole Foods.
Okay.
And which was really good. And even he said, if you've got data to back it up, I've probably changed my position. But you've got it. And this is the CEO of Whole Foods. And also if you haven't read the book Conscious Capitalism, I would highly recommend it. It's a very, very good book.
Cool.
He's got a follow-up to that, and I don't remember what it is. Conscious Leadership. That's the new book. But anyway, I feel the same way. And that's what I like about talking to you. We've talked about this before, is the fact that we can talk about things and debate them, but not be so stuck on one direction that we're not willing to look into something else, or at least try something else.
As long as it's, as long as there's some data to back it up, I would agree with you. I think, people often will pay attention to feelings and things like that, and they, let that kind of guide what their thought process is.
Right.
But sometimes you have to try. You're right. Sometimes you have to try stuff in order to be able to know that it works. And because I think it's different for everybody. Melatonin, for example, historically, if I use it, it'll help me the first night. But if I try it again the next night or the next night, it doesn't work, or I don't respond to it.
Right.
So but everybody has their own thing, and you kind of have to figure out what works best for you.
And you're exactly right. So melatonin by itself doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It makes me sleepy, but it doesn't put me to sleep. It's the CBD that helps calm the mind.
Yeah.
Which allows me to fall asleep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And stay asleep. And I sleep so hard now, which is
good.
I don't care if I sleep for 4 hours. If I sleep for 4 hours, hard sleep, I feel just as good as if I slept for 8 hours.
And that's me too. I'm the same way, like that. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't need the 8. So it's good. And I shouldn't say I've never slept 8. I have, but it doesn't happen regularly. So whatever. Yeah. I'm good on 5 as long as it's 5 hours of decent sleep.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we've handled that. That's good. Now, see, let's go back to costumes for a moment, because this, it's a teal gown behind you.
Yes. Okay. So yes, but you know what, folks, this is a PoddiMouths first. I'm picking up my computer because I'm not plugged in, and I'm going to walk, and you're going to hear one of the teachers in the background probably tap dancing here, but I'm going to walk and I'm going to show you some of the other costumes we have out for Christmas.
And then if Nick gets out there and gets called out for, hey, you're in the middle of my studio while I'm teaching a class, he's going to be doing some tap dancing himself, which will be fun.
So there's a cute Christmas costume.
Oh, it is cute. Hold on. I need to be taking pictures of these so you can post them, because I want to see them. Hold on. Give me a second and a half, because I am not as speedy. Okay, this is cute. Okay, thank you.
All right. Here's our COVID entry station.
Oh, this is good too. I like it. You have masks and you have antibacterial and look like Tide dryer sheets too. I'm not sure what those are there for. Just kidding.
No, those were masks. And no, those were hand sanitizer. And then, of course, we've got Santa's costume.
Well, Santa's costume. Well, when is he showing up to put it on?
He's wearing it right now. Can't you tell?
No.
Oh, okay.
Santa, I did not know Santa was being played by the Headless Horseman.
Oh, boy.
You're welcome. What a nice, you guys have done a great job in there. And listeners, as he's walking through, they've painted almost everything, right?
We have painted,
a lot.
Melissa, you might be part of a podcast here. No one will see you, but.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa. I'll see you. Hold
How
on.
are you?
Okay, we're going to do a quick waving from Melissa. And Melissa wears a mask only because she doesn't want to be recognized.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Melissa.
So we have 4 studios in here, and
Could you take me next door? I'd like to go to a
lobby.
convenience store next door.
We don't have a convenience store. We have a chiropractor.
Oh, let's go see my back is bothering me. Maybe he can fix it.
Yeah, maybe. So we have 4 studios. We've done the lobby. We've painted the lobby, put up some trim and things like that. We're not completely finished. I think we're going to redo the floor at some point. And also this wall right here with the window.
Yeah.
That wall over Christmas is probably coming down, and it's going to be a desk.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sitting in the front office right now. Anyway, so we have 4 studios. We've done the lobby. We've done one of the studios, and the other 3 still need to be painted.
So did you haven't done the room you're in now, have you?
No, we have not.
So this was the original color. What would you call that color?
An ugly bluish purple.
It's really bluish purple. And
Yep.
a little more toward purple.
Yes.
And I wouldn't call it ugly. It's just
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So all the studios are bright colors, except for the one we did.
Yeah.
The one we did, we've turned everything from really bright, like Crayola colors.
Yeah.
We've been saying so many product names. Ding, not a sponsor.
Hold on. Wait, got it. I had to hide it in my drawer, the bell, because my granddaughter came over yesterday.
Nice.
And I don't mind if she uses the bell, but she hides it sometimes, and I can't find it. So I stuck it in my drawer, and thank goodness she did not pull it out. So
Nice. Anyway, so
Crayola
very Crayola-ish colors everywhere, and we're more muted in general, Jen and I. So
Yeah.
So everything is now kind of a more subtle gray.
Mm.
The studio that we did paint is still a blue, but it's a lighter blue,
Nice.
grayish blue. So yeah, yep.
Hues of blue.
Yes.
Of blues.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit more modern, I think.
I would agree. I think the not unlike our condo that we're in. I think the darker, deeper, richer colors are more a little passe now. And
Yeah.
we had some, so I'm not, pointing.
Oh
fingers.
yeah, it's not like we haven't painted walls like this.
We did for a while. I called it baby poop yellow. It was kind of that color.
Nice.
And that was our color. That was in the living room of our old house, and in the house before that, it was in the bar.
Mhm.
But it was like an orangey yellow, and
Kind of a southwestern.
I guess, yeah. But then one morning I woke up and said, "Well, this has got to change." So I guess it's like the women's fashion. It goes around and comes around over and over.
Yeah.
So anyway, not men's fashion.
Boy.
No. We wear jeans and t-shirts, and that's it. That's all we need.
That's right. That's what I'm wearing today. Except I got a nice little sweater on.
I know it's not a sweater. What's it called?
It is a sweater.
Yeah, it's not really. What's it made of?
A sweater material.
It is not.
It is.
It looks like it's
It looks like it looks
material.
whatever the sweater material. I mean, it's all cotton. It's just weaved a different way.
I knitted it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is one I got. I'm not going to say the name, but this is one I got from a dealership I worked in.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
We also a race car driver. Oh,
That doesn't narrow it down, unfortunately.
oh, that's true. That's a good point. Not that much anyway.
But I will say that I think I don't know this for a fact, but it's my assumption that the dealer group that has this particular store, I think he's one of the dealers that has a racing team, and this is kind of a retirement for his racers.
Got it. There are several that just use the name.
Yeah.
Athletes and so on that often just rent out or allow them dealers to pay them a stipend for their names.
But this guy, he does show up in the dealership like once or twice a year. He has an office in there.
And I think that's smart. But like our Mark Wahlberg is also, and I have to do that, not because it's a dude, but because he has some Chevy stores.
Yeah.
Stores, I'm not sure.
We have a Mercedes store here in Nashville that's owned by a very famous college football coach.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that it makes sense because it's you use that celebrity endorsement and people will say, oh, well, but I will say, and since I mentioned Wahlberg's name, he's not there often, but he's partnered with a highly successful dealer entrepreneur. So that to me makes the most sense is when you find somebody you can work with, that is not going to abuse your name, then that's a smart business decision.
Yep.
So cool. My kid's moving to Florida. Did I tell you that?
You told me that last week. Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing. So my son is an associate pastor. And you would not guess that knowing me, but it's not a bad thing. And he's done very well. And he's very musically inclined. His degree is in music, percussion specifically. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but let's just say medically speaking, they needed to move to a warmer climate. And so they're doing that. And his in-laws have recently moved to that same area in South Florida. So they have made the decision that they're going to do that. So they bought a house and they are all excited for the move. And I bought their airline tickets to get down there. I guess I'm not sure how they're going to get the vehicles, but on another topic, they have a lease that's coming due in August of next year. And they're, well, maybe we'll just turn it in and I said, no, don't turn it in because you're still responsible for the payments.
Yeah.
So we talked through that a little bit. And so I think they're going to be taking both cars down somehow or other. But he has the preliminary piece of a new job down there for a church.
Oh, good.
South Florida. So anyway, it's very exciting. And they, I think.
Oh, South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida.
Wow.
And, Fort Myers area, roughly. And so anyway, he's meeting with the elders at the church next week, and they'll talk payroll and benefits and stuff like that. So he's excited.
That's awesome.
It is good. We're obviously though, conflicted because we're going to miss them. And rather than having them 15 minutes from the house, they'll be several hours.
I see another move in your future.
My whole family is within an hour and a half of us.
So, now or in Florida?
Now. So I don't see it at least in the near term, but we'll see. It's just it's a tough thing. So we'll visit and we'll just figure it out from there, one way or the other.
Well, that's awesome. That's really good. I'm glad that things are going well, and
it seems like it's coming
even during COVID.
Very true, and that is one of the tough parts, and not unlike our church. That church down there has been meeting throughout COVID.
Oh, has?
Yes. And that's so, it's good. Florida. They've had no cases though.
Yeah.
And our church has not had any as a result of actual services. So that's good. Anyway.
Yeah.
So hopefully that continues. And with the vaccine, hopefully that this stuff, all of this crap will be behind us before long.
Fingers crossed.
You and me both.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas, getting through the holidays, and then starting next year, starting 2021, and on the not that it's been horrible. I mean, my Carvana stock and even my Slack stock has been on the upward climb since March.
Well, I bought Tesla for $20. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Like, okay, then why aren't you sponsoring our podcast?
If I had, I would.
Yeah.
Believe me. Yeah, I look at what just happened to them and how Elon just became wealthier than Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
And everyone thought he was nuts beforehand.
Oh, well, for sure.
All the way to the bank.
Fodder for that.
Yeah,
over
true.
the years. However, there's no question he's brilliant, and he was waiting for this time.
Yep.
I think to make that change to a publicly held company. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. Tesla has, it's interesting. You look at initial quality reports on the auto industry in general. Tesla's like last.
Yeah.
They have such poor reviews for initial quality. And I'm not, happily, if somebody has a problem with the vehicle, they can usually fix it by a software.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So they don't even have to go to a dealership.
My first experience in riding in a Tesla, the gentleman that I was riding with also had a Mercedes. I think it was an E-Class. I don't know exactly which one, but it was an E-Class. And he said, it's cool, it's electric, but on the inside, really not much different than the Mercedes. Yeah. There's nothing that really stands out.
But that was probably the target, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I absolutely do think so. But
that would be, in my mind anyway, that's probably the thing that he was quality-wise heading toward when they designed it. But battery technology has come along quite nicely, and his company has been in the midst of that, and even for things outside of that realm for residential, and I mean they've got some cool things going on.
Oh yeah, the Gigafactory with the battery banks for the houses that you can get. Yep. You can power. I think it's incredible. There's still a lot. We still have time. We still got a lot to go.
Yeah, there's a lot to come, and yes, there are. And I hope there are major changes that way. There's the the arguments that, and Matt made it a little bit when he was on with us, that that energy has to come.
I need to pause you right there. Sure. Matt, we still want you on.
Okay, you heard it, Matt.
Yeah.
But his argument,
Matt thinks I'm mad at him or doesn't want him. I don't want him back on, but I do.
Well, now that he sees the costume behind you, I
think
he may need to wear one. Yeah, do they come in bigger sizes?
I could send him one.
Matt's sort of massive. But his argument or idea that a lot of people don't get that electric energy has to come from somewhere,
right? And
largely it comes from other power plants. Whether it's fossil fuel or whether it's nuclear or hydro, which is not nearly as big as what some people think in the U.S. anyway. But anyway, all that said, once we get beyond some of that, it's the recharging. Does it really, is it really a thing that makes it cleaner? Not necessarily, and certainly getting lithium and all of that is not great for the environment too. So there are some challenges. There's no question, but I think I certainly like the direction. It's a lot clearer and a lot more real than it ever was before. So,
agreed.
Happy about that.
And on that note, John,
yes,
we're going to have to call it in a day.
This is awesome because I like the shorter, 45-minute-ish time frame, and I think our listeners might too. So
we should ask them. They should go up to PoddiMouths.com.
Oh no, you wouldn't want to. Don't do that, listeners. Please.
Why in the world would you go up to PoddiMouths.com, leave us a comment, tell us how much you enjoy us, enjoy the show? Why would you even help us with a potty corner, which we didn't get to?
Buy some merch, please.
Buy some merch. Why would you do any of that? I mean, there's no good reason to do that. No good reason. Not in any way, shape, or form would that support the podcast or speaking of, and I was going to wait until I got it before telling you or before showing it.
Yes.
But I'm really excited about it. I ordered a Vehicle Nanny sweatshirt.
Yes. From our friend Bill, the Vehicle Nanny.
Yep. Yep, Bill, I'm so looking forward to it. It hasn't been printed yet, but it's coming. It's red and it's the Vehicle Nanny logo. I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
Anyway, head up to PoddiMouths.com.
Yep.
Support us, support Bill, support the Vehicle Nanny charities, support Tyson's charities, the patched overalls. What is it called? Damn it, I forgot the word.
Lovingly?
No. What is patched overalls? It is a charity, but it's a
scholarship.
Sorry, Tyson, scholarship.
Okay. Yeah, it's a
No,
scholarship.
I said Tyson, not you, John.
Whatever. Or you weren't apologizing to me.
Anyway, head up to, like I said, head up to the website, check out some of our past episodes, and give us some ideas for Potty Corner. I know we missed it on this one, but we will do a Potty Corner on the next episode. And you know what? We may or may not be able to do another episode before the holidays. And if we're not able to, John, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays for those who don't celebrate Christmas. And we will have one before New Year's. I guarantee that. But anyway, John's going, shrugging his shoulders.
Depends. There may be a vacation in my future. So
maybe a vacation in his future. I doubt it. I might say no to that because I run this podcast. No, I'm kidding.
You might not allow me to. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'll have to ask my boss, Nick.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, it's been real. It's been fun. It hasn't been real fun.
It has too. Where else can you see nice costumes like you have and get a studio tour and meet Melissa? I mean, it's really been amazing today.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Bye, everyone.
See ya.